Hey everybody, I'm Zach.
And I'm Jesse.
And you're watching Tesla Time News.
Episode 246.
On Now You Know.
We're brought to you by our amazing Patreon patrons. Support creating independent news every week by heading over to patreon.com/nowyouknow, and you'll get some pretty great perks also.
And we want to thank Surfshark VPN for sponsoring this video. Hey, what are you doing? We're recording a show here.
Yeah, I'm protecting my laptop.
Protecting your laptop from what?
From hackers. You know, all this ransomware hacks and stuff. It's got me spooked.
You don't need tinfoil, you need Surfshark.
I thought Surfshark was just so I could watch Netflix like I'm in a different country.
No, Surfshark does much more, like Clean Web. Surfshark's Clean Web, remember, it prevents malware or phishing attempts from getting to you. Plus, you can forget ads and trackers ever existed.
Oh, that sounds cool.
Yeah, and then there's Multi-Hop, where you can connect via multiple countries at once to take ID protection and footprint masking to the next level.
Oh, Multi-Hop sounds cool.
And how about Camouflage Mode?
What's that?
Camouflage Mode makes sure even your internet provider can't tell that you're using a VPN.
Sweet. So how do I sign up for Surfshark?
Use our code to get 83% off and get 3 extra months for free. Surfshark offers a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you can try it out for yourself risk-free.
Go check it out. The link is in the description below.
And we're also brought to you by BigBattery.com. No matter what you need to power, Big Battery can provide you with the latest battery tech at the best price per kilowatt hour, guaranteed. Their batteries are easily installed, require zero maintenance, and they're made right here in the U.S. Pick up yours today at BigBattery.com and use code NowYouKnow for 5% off at checkout.
So Ford had their F-150 Lightning electric pickup truck reveal on Wednesday. What did we learn?
Well, we learned what it's going to look like, so no big surprises here. It is very much a Ford F-150 in terms of full-size bed. Nothing super futuristic other than the front light bar and the new grille.
How about the two big questions that I've been getting? Range and price.
Yes, so the entry-level model will cost $39,974. Let's just call it $40K. And it'll have an underwhelming range of 230 miles or 370 kilometers. Now, we know why that is. Batteries are the limiting factor. They are the most expensive piece of the puzzle, so to keep that price down, Ford had to limit the size of the battery pack for this starting variant.
But what's interesting to me here is that all the variants of the Lightning will be built with the Super Crew. That's the 4-door cab. And so with a federal tax credit still available for Ford of $7,500, that would put the price of the Lightning lower than the price of Ford's gas version of the F-150, which is $36,650.
Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, the Lightning would come in at $32,500, about $4,000 cheaper.
So what about the longer range version?
So the mid-series XLT extended range version starts at $52,974. Let's call it $53K, with a range of about 300 miles. So they haven't published the exact range yet because the EPA hasn't rated it. The maxed out version has the same 300-mile range, but costs $90,474.
Wow. Okay. So this is a pickup truck. What about towing?
Well, the standard range Lightning can tow 7,700 pounds. That's about the same as the base Tesla Cybertruck. And the extended range Ford F-150 is able to tow up to 10,000 pounds. That's the same as the dual motor Cybertruck. But the Tesla Cybertruck Tri-Motor will be able to tow 14,000 pounds.
Okay, so the Lightning can tow more than the gas-powered versions of the Ford F-150, but less than the hybrid or diesel versions of the F-150. The next question, though, is what about payload?
Well, the standard range can actually carry a bit more than the extended because it's already carrying less batteries. So the standard range can carry 2,000 pounds versus the extended range at 1,800 pounds. Now compare this to the Tesla Cybertruck, which can carry 3,500 pounds.
Okay, but what about motors?
Well, both variants of the Lightning have 2 motors, so all-wheel drive will be for both variants. The standard range has 318 kilowatts or 426 horsepower, and the extended range has 420 kilowatts or 563 horsepower and 775 foot-pounds of torque.
And you knew I was going to ask, acceleration?
The extended range will have 0 to 60 times in the mid 4-second range.
Okay. Charging?
Very similar to what we talked about with the Mach-E, Ford doesn't have a dedicated charging network. So they rely on kind of a combination of some existing networks, which we've talked about before. It's not an optimal solution. They're calling it the Ford Pass Charging Network, basically Electrify America and a few others. But at the highest speeds, they'll be able to charge at 150 kilowatts of DC fast charging.
So for the short range version, it'll be 54 miles of range in 10 minutes, or from 15 to 80% state of charge in 41 minutes. And for the longer range, it'll be 41 miles of range in 10 minutes, 15 to 80% state of charge in 44 minutes.
Yeah, most people, of course, will charge at home. And here is where Ford is offering something really cool. An 80 amp home charging station that will fully charge the Lightning in 8 hours and provide battery backup power for your home for 3 days in the event of a blackout.
Wait, what?
Yeah, so Ford has chosen Sunrun to install Ford's charge station that can do vehicle to grid, V2G. They're going to use Lightning's battery to power your home at 9.6 kilowatts. Now, Ford's Ryan O'Gorman, their electrification strategy manager, said F-150 Lightning is built for seamless transitions between charging your vehicle and powering your house when needed. And Ford is the first in the U.S. to offer this capability on an electric truck.
Wow, so this would kind of be like a power wall for your house, but it would be your truck.
Yeah, in fact, we have a video contributor story from our friend Lee in Puerto Rico that shows this perfectly.
Hello, Zach and Jesse. I live here in beautiful Puerto Rico, and we have a major problem here that you're probably aware of, and that is frequent power outages. In fact, we're having one right now. Now, people are so used to this in Puerto Rico that many homes have installed gigantic diesel generators that automatically kick on as soon as the power turns off. The problem is that you don't know your generator has a problem until the power turns off, which is exactly what has happened right now. So when the power goes out, that switches over, this automatically turns on, and this did turn on when our power went out, and then it cut off. And it kept doing that again and again and again, and I don't know if you guys are gonna be able to see this, but I have a huge oil leak down there. I called my generator repair guy. He's on the other side of the island, so he can come tomorrow and look at my problem. I'm supposed to be working right now, but obviously I can't because my computers need power. So I'm literally just sitting here waiting, hopefully not until tomorrow until the power comes back on, but I would not be surprised if I don't have power for the next 24 hours. Now, I'm currently renting this place and I'm looking at buying somewhere else. But the HOAs in some of these neighborhoods do not allow generators because they're too loud and they're too smelly, but it's kind of a necessity here on the island. So what people are having to do is get battery backup systems like the Tesla Powerwall, and people are sneaking them into condo buildings and, putting them in closets in their room. And that works to an extent, but as you guys know, Powerwalls are incredibly expensive. They're hard to get, and they won't power your entire unit for very long. So you may be wondering why I'm making this video for you guys, and that is because I believe vehicle to grid power could change everything for places like Puerto Rico. One of the most popular cars on this island is the F-150. The brand new electric F-150 was just revealed, and it has vehicle to grid power. They claim that you could power your entire house for 3 days on the truck. Now, I pre-ordered the F-150 for this feature alone, but honestly, I'm not that excited about the truck. It's kind of a boring truck to me. I would love to have a Tesla Cybertruck, but it has to have vehicle to grid power. If you could plug in your Cybertruck with a single cable to charge it, but then when your house lost power, it would start sending power back to your house, nobody would need a generator anymore. Elon, please give me vehicle to grid power in the Cybertruck. It will be my dream come true.
So yeah, that was Lee from FStoppers. You might have recognized him. It's an awesome YouTube channel. If you want the best tips for advice on all things photography and video, you have to watch them. So thank you so much, Lee. Isn't that interesting that already people in Puerto Rico are buying the hybrid version because it can do this? This is, I think, going to become a very popular version in places like Puerto Rico where they lose power a lot.
And I mean, Puerto Rico is not the only place where you're at risk of losing power at seemingly any moment.
Yeah, we're in New England where we lose power a lot.
And we have two backups. We have battery and a generator.
Right.
Now, Ford CEO Jim Farley said there are lots of flavors of soda, but there's only one Coke. And there'll be lots of electric pickup trucks, but there's only one F-150.
Now, I thought it was kind of funny that he used Coke as his comparison because it's kind of accurate, actually. Check this out. These are charts showing that they're both in declining market share and declining revenue. So I don't know like why he picked Coke as his example, but
because it's an American classic, damn it.
I guess.
But let's talk about the frunk, because I heard that Ford is calling it the Mega Power Frunk.
Yeah, so when you lift the Lightning's hood, the grille now goes with it, revealing a big honkin' frunk. Check this out. It's a 14.1 cubic foot or 400 liters of volume and 400 pounds of capacity, and it's water resistant with a drain for easy cleaning, and my favorite part, there are power outlets in there.
And I really think that Ford got this right. I mean, this is a really huge feature. I mean, I remember when I went to the Rivian unveiling and we, got to peek under the hood and you have that big frunk and it looks great and you could put lots of stuff in it. But you're going to have to take your stuff and lift it on over. And not just the Rivian. I mean, that's the same for the Cybertruck.
Right.
It's the same for basically every frunk that we've seen so far is a box that you get to from the top. Being able to get into it from the, like you're used to with a trunk is really nice.
Yeah, I mean, this is one of the reasons actually why I placed an order for the Lightning. I mean, I want to be able to show you guys this feature in real life to see if it's really cool. But I mean, as a former contractor, I can imagine putting like my table saw in there or something, or a bunch of my power tools and be able to get right at them quickly. I mean, this is really cool. I'm glad Ford came up with it.
Now, I don't know if I like the Mega Power Frunk. I think I would have called it a hatch front.
A hatch front?
Yeah, it's like a hatchback. But the hatch is in the front, and it's a pickup truck.
Well, this is why you don't work for Ford. You have to come up with really cool names like Mega Power Frunk.
I mean, whatever. I'm not going to nitpick over the name. I think it's a great feature. I love that there are outlets in there. I don't have any complaints about the frunk. But that's not all. There are other cool features too, like the fold-out workstation in the center console and Ford's new Hitch Assistant feature that can kind of automatically hook up a trailer for you.
Yeah, I thought that was really cool. And these are all things that I want to show our viewers to see how they work in real life conditions, not just marketing videos. Because, I mean, they do sound really cool in a marketing video, but like, will they be really usable?
So how are we going to do that?
We're going to get the truck.
But how many trucks do we need?
We don't need them all, but we need to show them all.
That is a good point. But there's still more features to talk about. Now, does the Lightning come with that 15.5-inch touchscreen that the Mach-E has?
In the lower price variants, no. They just come with a 12-inch capacitive landscape-oriented touchscreen. But in the more expensive Lariat or Platinum trims, yes, you can get that same touchscreen as in the Mach-E. The driver display, though, for the Lightning is a 12-inch screen versus the Mach-E's, which is only 10-inch.
And the higher trims will also get Blue Cruise, Ford's hands-free driver assistance for divided highways. So when does this go for sale?
Ford says next year, mid-2022.
And is this truck going to have any new features that we haven't seen on a Ford yet?
Yeah, this will actually be the first Ford F-150 with independent rear suspension. And it will have what they say is the strongest steel frame that they've ever put in a Ford, probably because they're adding so much weight to it. Now, I know we bash Ford all the time on the show. They have been really late to the game, but we're not such Tesla fanboys that we can't be open-minded. We want EVs to succeed. So that's why I pre-ordered the Lightning. I want to see if this truck can really do all the things it says.
Yeah, and we want to test it for you. We want to show what it can and can't do. We want to show which features are going to be, the standout awesome ones like the V to G or the tow hitch. Because, yeah, I'm really excited. They packed a lot of stuff in here. A lot of outlets, a lot of stuff that's going to be useful for people who do things.
Yeah, the big question to me is, are people going to be excited about that lowest price variant with the tax credit because that range is so low? I mean, 230 miles of maximum range, that means, about 200 miles of usable range. Is that going to do everything that people need to do with the truck?
I think that it really would be regional. Up by where we live, you're not going to be driving too far most of the time. It's a 4-door, so this could kind of be the family car. A lot of people use, Super Crew kind of F-150s for that kind of purpose. Pretty easy to switch over to electric, and you're going to save a whole bunch of money.
And Jim Farley, the CEO, tweeted out more than 44,500 reservations in less than 48 hours and counting. The future is here.
Now, what was the number of Cybertruck reservations after 48 hours?
Well, let's see. Ford had 20,000 in the first 24 hours. Cybertruck had 146,000 in the first day, 250,000 or so in the first 2 days.
Okay, but this is a big step for F-150 owners, and plus they already have F-150s sitting in their garages, and they need to see what the Lightning is going to do.
Well, and they didn't throw anything at the truck, so, wasn't that exciting.
That's a good point.
The Ford Lightning will be built in Ford's Rouge factory in Dearborn, Michigan, which was built 100 years ago, and I just found out they added a green roof in 2019, so Good on you, Ford.
Good for you.
And of course, Tuesday, prior to Ford's unveiling of the Ford F-150, President Joe Biden got behind the wheel of the Ford F-150 Lightning before the unveiling, and he said,
"This sucker's quick."
Biden used this opportunity to pitch his EV plan.
yeah, so he pitched again that we're going to have consumer incentives. And I wanted to point out the key difference here is these are point of purchase incentives. Now, when we talk about getting a federal tax credit, that's all fine and good. But for a lot of people, that's not that meaningful because they, don't know how it works. They don't know how to file for it. They don't even know if they'll get it. Sometimes you don't get the whole credit. But if you can get a point of purchase credit, that means you go down to your dealer or go onto Tesla's website and the credit just comes off the price. That's a whole lot more exciting for consumers, I think.
Biden's plan also includes tax credits for medium and heavy-duty vehicles, $25 billion for clean buses.
Yeah, $20 billion to convert 20% of school bus fleets into electric.
Funding for federal agencies to go electric, including the U.S. Postal Service.
Tax credit for clean vehicle manufacturing.
Grants for new battery facilities in the U.S.
$15 billion for grants for 500,000 new EV charging stations.
And $35 billion in R&D for energy and climate-related technology. So a lot of cool stuff that Biden is proposing here, a lot of expensive stuff. Some people might not like it. Ford kind of got a little political there.
Yeah, I don't know whether it was a plus or a minus to have the president driving in the truck, because is this going to turn off some more conservative people who are like, well, then I'm never going to buy it? Or is it just good because you have, a president in your truck?
Kind of interesting to me that Tesla has kind of, by and large, stayed apolitical when it comes to their vehicles. I've seen people on both sides of the aisle drive their cars, love them, might even like them for completely different reasons. But when you have a Democrat driving in your truck, is that going to turn off Republicans? I don't know. Put your comments below. I don't want to look at them, though.
Interesting that right after Biden's press event, some of the White House press asked him if he was going to electrify the presidential limousine. And the press secretary said that he is looking to do that.
And maybe he'd be thinking about just switching it straight over to the Tesla Roadster.
You could get away quick if you needed to.
A lot quicker than we were thinking.
Yeah, Donnie wrote in and shared this photo from a Reddit user who visited the Tesla Roadster at the Peterson Museum. Now look really carefully at the info card. It says that with cold air thrusters, the Roadster should accelerate 0 to 60 in 1.1 seconds.
1.1 seconds. So I just want to lay this out for you. So you're at a stop, right? You're probably sitting, not moving. And one Mississippi. And now you're going 60 miles an hour.
Yeah, that is neck-breaking acceleration. What, 2.5 Gs?
Yeah, that's approaching the acceleration of a jet taking off from an aircraft carrier, which is kind of wild because most of that acceleration comes from a steam-powered catapult that is launching you off. Like, you might think that it's the jet. No, it's not the jet. So you have the Roadster with a jet and no steam-powered catapult. It's the wheels and the 1.1 seconds. These are not going to stay on the road too long, huh?
I didn't really believe it until Elon tweeted out, yes, with the SpaceX rocket thruster option package, it will be safe but very intense, probably not wise for those with a medical condition, same as a hardcore roller coaster.
Well, most roller coasters don't have steering wheels or anything like that. Usually you're just going like, whoa! You're not like, oh!
I think there's going to be a lot of busted up Roadsters on day one.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, when you floor it and your body is not ready for, like, first of all, it's going to throw you back, right? And if you're not, I mean, even race car drivers, let's face it, most race car drivers don't have this kind of power.
A F1 car, so the fastest race cars in the world, accelerate at about 0 to 60 in 2.1 seconds.
That's what I'm talking about.
So
this is twice as fast.
Yeah. So it'll be really interesting to watch, like a Roadster with the SpaceX package race one of.
It's going to change racing.
It would be really cool. Like, obviously, wouldn't be able to corner quite as fast, but if you can
out of the corner,
yeah. If you just like, and
then I want to know how fast it's going to be able to regenerate the air into the tank, because if you could do it every 10 seconds or something, like, that would be insane.
That would be really wild.
Now, Elon went on to tweet, production article will look different. Better.
What does he mean by article?
Car.
Oh. How can it look better?
It's been a few years.
Have you seen the Roadster?
Yes, I have. I've been in the Roadster.
I I just think that you can't get any better than that, but okay.
Marcus House says the ultimate smackdown. This must be getting towards the edge of what is possible with road tires. I wonder how soft the rubber needs to be to deal with the acceleration. You'd probably chew up your tires real quick, I reckon. 0 to 60 in 3 seconds is crazy enough for me, I think.
Elon said it will have high-pressure air rocket thrusters behind the license plate that flips down. Bong. James Bong. Is that the sound of it coming down? Is that the rocket term for the nozzle that's going to be on there? Is it called a bong?
Yeah, I think you're right. That's the license plate going bong.
It's amazing that Tesla, has all these fast cars. And, there's going to be another fast car coming out pretty soon.
Yeah, Elon tweeted out, Tesla's Model S Plaid delivery event June 3rd at our California factory. Fastest production car ever, 0 to 60 in under 2 seconds.
Oh, is that all? Just under 2 seconds. It's not 1.1.
Well, this doesn't cost the same as the Roadster, so.
So June 3rd. If there is any kind of stream, if there's any kind of way that we can be there.
Oh, we should live stream it.
We will be live streaming it if there's any way at all. So be sure to hit the subscribe button so you don't miss it.
All right, it's now Tesla's 5th price increase of the Model 3 and the Model Y in the past few months.
The Tesla Model 3 Standard Range Plus, the price went from $39,490 to $39,990. That is a $3,000 or 8% increase from its low of $37,000 a few months ago.
Yeah. Tesla Model 3 long-range all-wheel drive price went from $48,490 to $48,990.
And the Model 3 Performance stayed the same at $56,990.
Now, the Tesla Model Y long-range all-wheel drive price went from $51,490 to $51,990.
The Model Y Performance stayed the same at $60,990.
Now, the question everyone keeps asking is, why is Tesla doing this?
I think it's a number of reasons. And the biggest reason is because they can. We've heard that demand is through the roof, that they've already sold out through the remainder of this quarter. And that was, like a week or two ago. Also, it sounds pretty likely that we're going to be getting an EV incentive program, which is going to be taking $10,000 off the price of the car. So, why should customers get that whole $10,000 off? Why doesn't Tesla get a piece of the pie? And again, they can do it because they have the demand.
I think it's also because Tesla was rewarding early reservation holders early on. Like there was a lot of pressure to get down to that $35,000 price for a little bit to reward you. And then now that we're into, not the early adopters, I think Tesla's like, yeah, we dipped down and now we can creep back up.
Yeah, because think about it. The people who waited in line, like me, for their Tesla Model 3, so excited, it's going to be a $35,000 car. You could get a $35,000 Model 3 at a certain point in time. And I think it was basically like, use it or lose it.
Yep.
But I think that most people who were waiting took advantage of it. And now the people who are kind of trickling in, although it's more of a flood, they weren't waiting. They didn't put their money down early. They didn't put down $1,000 to wait for this Model 3.
Right.
So I think that, Elon isn't like morally obligated to, reserve them this really nice price. And plus, if the EV incentive comes back, they're going to be getting a really great deal.
All right, so this week there's been a lot of speculation about Elon's trip to the UK and whether this means that Tesla could be planning for a British factory soon.
I thought we'd reach out to an expert on the subject from Oxford University, Professor Branswick Wainscoting.
Professor Wainscoting, thank you for taking the time out of your busy lecturing schedule to help us with this.
Happy to help, lads. The study of factory placement has evolved into a kind of theoretical hierarchy of needs if we drill down into the essence of what makes a business successful.
Right. But I guess what we'd like to know is the Telegraph reports this week that regional authorities, including Testside and the West Midlands,
West Midlands is one of the 9 official regions in England.
It
covers the western half of the area traditionally known as the Midlands. The region consists of the counties of Hertfordshire, Shadfordshire, Warwickshire, West Midlands.
Yes, Professor, that's helpful. But I think what we're getting to is that these regional authorities were only given 48 hours to prepare bids for a 250-hectare site.
The metric system was further rationalized in the 1960s. The air was not recognized as an official unit. The hectare, however, remains as a non-SI unit, accepted as use with the SI and whose use is expected.
Thank you, Professor, for that riveting historical explanation. But I think we were asking about the fact that these regional authorities had to prepare bids for the Office for Investment without being told what company the bid was for. Could this be a...
The new office will support the landing of new high-value investment opportunities into the UK, which align with key government priorities, such as reaching zero net investment in infrastructure and advancing research and development.
No, I think
creation comes in response to the government's extensive engagement with investors, who have indicated that as global competition intensifies, a more structured approach has to be made in terms of...
Professor? Professor?
I guess we lost the professor. So I guess we'll never know whether Elon's visit to the north of London last week was related to Tesla building a factory there.
At least for now. I mean, maybe we can get the professor back at some point, but seriously, I kind of doubt that Tesla needs to build a factory anytime soon in the UK.
Yeah, I mean, I know it's a big topic in the UK. We get a lot of our viewers who write to us anytime there's like Elon lands in the country. But if you look at it from a wider perspective, I mean, the UK doesn't solve too many problems for Tesla. I mean, having the factory in Germany gets you the skilled workforce, it reduces tariffs, it's a central European location, there's good rail lines and highways, not to mention a good supply chain. A factory in the UK just introduces kind of all sorts of supply chain issues now that the UK is leaving the EU.
Did I hear you chaps talking about the factory that Tesla's going to be building here in Britain? Because I'm absolutely positive that Tesla is planning to build one here very soon.
Really, Professor? What's your proof?
I've long posited that economic conditions, notwithstanding informal arguments, will prevail on topics as far and wide as the human mind can comprehend, and such, therefore, ultimately...
Okay. Yeah, this story keeps kind of reoccurring, and there's rumors, and there's, Elon, he's visiting. We haven't heard anything concrete.
No, and I think that if Elon wants to open another factory, which they might be doing at some point, I've got to believe it's going to be somewhere like the Netherlands, where you've got good shipping, you're still in Europe. I just don't see UK being anytime soon. Sorry to say it.
I mean, yeah, there's so many other great places in Europe. I mean, you could go eastward if you wanted, cheaper workforce. You could even go westward into Spain if you wanted to. You could do France. I mean, there's lots and lots of different countries that you could, put in a gigafactory at.
And then I think we got to mention, as we've talked about before, if you're going to build another gigafactory, you're probably going to want to do it on another continent, like another one in China or one in India. All right, so Henrik Fisker, yes, the same Henrik Fisker who helped design the Model S, tweeted out on Friday, "It was an honor to have a private audience with Pope Francis. He is so conscious about our responsibility towards the environment and for our generations to come. Looking forward to making the first all-electric Popemobile."
Yeah, so this is Henrik Fisker. I did not know that he helped design the Model S.
Yeah, and then Tesla sued him because they claimed that he held the best designs for himself.
Oh, like the ocean.
Yes.
That's
well, actually, the Fisker Karma, I think, is what they were talking about.
Interesting.
Which is a good-looking car.
It is a good-looking car. I'll give him credit for that. But let's talk about the Popemobile.
Yeah, Fisker said in a press release that they will be delivering this Popemobile to Pope Francis next year.
Now, I see Pope Francis looking at the pictures.
Mm-hmm.
Did he say anything? Was he like, "Oh, thank you so much. I can't wait for it"? I mean, are they just going to kind of show up and be like, "Here you go. Here's the Popemobile for you."
Right.
Not a bad branding strategy.
Great branding strategy.
There's a lot of Catholics in the world.
Right.
So I'm sure they would see what's the Popemobile these days? Oh, it's the Fisker Ocean.
Yeah.
Oh, I want my own Popemobile. Popemobile.
So workers at the Tesla Gigafactory in Texas shared a rare view of the Cybertruck with its tailgate ramp extended.
You can see a video of this on the Cybertruck Owners Club.
Yeah, Tesla Time News is sponsored by Cybertruck Owners Club. There you'll find a crowdsourced reservation tracker that you can update and find your place in line.
You can check out their website for Cybertruck news, discussions, and community for Cybertruck enthusiasts and future owners. So, I mean, this ramp looks different than some of the marketing material that we've seen from Tesla.
So if you look at this picture here where the air suspension has the truck kind of leaning back and I think the ground kind of swells up, it looks like it's just one plane. But I remember at the Cybertruck unveiling that it looked more like what we're seeing here at the factory where it's like,
Right. I mean, it could give it a little bit more strength to have that kind of thing. Because, I mean, let's face it, most pickup trucks do not have ramps.
No, ramps are cool.
You can get ramps, like you can get things. You can drive your motorcycle or ATV up into the bed of your pickup truck, but most of them don't have the ramp in the tailgate of the truck.
I guess a big question for me about the tailgate is whether it goes past 180 degrees, whether it goes down to negative. I think that would be really cool. I think that's what we're seeing here in this desert shot, because that would mean that you could get just a nice plane. But I'm guessing that when they, did the Cybertruck unveiling, they hadn't worked through all of this detail stuff yet. But this is stuff I think we all want to know. And that's why you should go to the Cybertruck Owners Club so we can talk about it. And speaking some more about Giga Texas, Axel Turk posted on his LinkedIn this photo of what appears to be one of the first castings from Giga Texas of the Model Y front end.
This is a 130 kilogram or 286 pound cast piece of aluminum.
Wait, that's one piece?
That is one piece. It came out of a Gigapress.
Now, Axel said this on his LinkedIn. This is translated from German. Now, our arrogant automobile builders with their bellies bloated by state aid are likely to descend from the high horse.
Whoa.
Whoa.
So let's talk about this casting. We actually saw this casting in Battery Day, but we didn't see like a real one. We saw this picture, and just to make it a little easier, I've highlighted it in yellow for you.
Okay, cool.
So that's the casting. That's the front of the Model Y.
Now, is the idea that we're going to cast the entire piece, so basically the front, the middle, and the rear section all as one, or do we need to bother doing that?
I don't think that you really need to. I think that especially the middle section, that's all batteries, and it's, kind of a clamshell, kind of easy to put together. It's not the, 70 or, 370 parts that the front and the back end would normally take up.
Wait, 370 parts?
Yeah, I mean, remember from Battery Day, look at this slide. Both the battery technology and this body stuff could unlock 10% mass reduction in the car, which would increase the range by 14% and require 370 fewer parts.
I forgot because Battery Day had so much stuff in it and we were so focused on the battery part, I kind of forgot all the other good stuff, and this is one of them.
And I mean, just keep in mind, we haven't seen the front casting of the Model Y before. This is the first time that we've seen a real front casting the Model Y. So far, we've only seen the rear. So, I mean, they've probably been building Model Ys, regular front sections with the cast rear. Now you can have, I wonder if we're going to see like a little range increase on new Model Ys coming out of maybe Gigafactory Texas.
I'm so excited because this is at a factory that's not even finished yet.
Exactly.
Like all of these factories now, as far as we know, have the Gigapress, which means that as soon as they figure this out, get all the details worked out, I think they can turn on the castings.
And what this means is you can shrink down the lines of all the Gigafactories.
That's right. You don't need all those robots to put all those parts in, and you can get rid of all those part suppliers.
Right. Why mess around with a bunch of robots when you can just have a big injection molding machine, fill it full of aluminum? Perfect.
All right, you're looking for something fun to do this summer? How about go hydroflying?
Hydroflying? What's that?
That's a verb I just made up. It's based on the Hydroflyer.
Oh, so it's like the Lift e-foil that we reviewed a couple of years ago.
Yeah, it's an electrically powered board with a foil, but the Hydroflyer has more power, more speed, and handlebars.
So you mean the foil, you mean like a hydrofoil. So it's kind of like an airplane wing, but underwater, lifts you, you're like flying, but that part's underwater, you're above water. But what do you need handlebars for?
Well, as we learned from reviewing the Lift e-foil, there is a learning curve. Even our daredevil teammate, Steven, who is an experienced unicycler and snowboarder, it still took him a while to get the hang of the e-foiling. So my guess is that with even more power, the team at Hydroflyer decided to add handlebars to make learning faster. They say you can learn in 5 to 15 minutes. You can then remove the handlebars if you want.
All right, so what are the stats?
Well, it has a top speed of 34 miles an hour.
That's fast. That's on the water?
Yeah, it has a 5,500 watt motor, 120 minutes of ride time, and a range of 40 kilometers from a 42 amp hour 52 volt battery. It recharges in 3 hours, and it's made of carbon fiber, so it weighs less than I thought. 29 to 35 kilograms, depending on whether you have the handlebars on or off.
Wow, so that's like 64 to 77 pounds. And all right, what's the price?
You had to ask, right? They're starting with the Cruiser for $13,999. Oh. They're only making 200 of them, and as of a couple days ago, there were 62 left. It requires a 50% deposit and 20 weeks to deliver.
What? 20 weeks? It's already almost June.
Yeah, so I guess the only people who will want to order it now would be in the Southern Hemisphere, so they can get it in time for their summer.
Well, I mean, if you have ride it in the ocean in the winter.
Okay.
You know, you got the handlebars. You're not going to fall in, right?
I think you're going to get wet.
So UFC fighter and Tesla fan Benil Darush wants his car.
Gotta ask you, post-fight victory speech, of all the people to call out, you call out Elon Musk. What's the backstory behind this?
December, I ordered my car. Bro, I ordered the safest car, they told me. It's the best car for my pregnant wife. And I'm still waiting. Elon, bro, what's the deal, man? You told me March. We're coming up in June. I want my car. Come on, bud. I know, big fan, but this is disrespect.
Oh, so Elon tweeted out, coming soon, sorry for the delay. Well, so to be clear, Benil ordered a new refreshed Model X in December. I guess someone at Tesla told him it should arrive in March, but as we've reported, there were delays. So what did Elon do?
Well, it looks like according to his manager, 3 days later, Elon gave him a placeholder Model Y last week until his Model X is ready.
Really cool that Benil publicly talked about Tesla being the safest car.
Now, this is special treatment from Tesla. I mean, if you had ordered a Model S Plaid or something, you can't be like, "Where's my car, Elon?" and get a car, a placeholder car for you.
Well, I guess my question is, because I'm not a big UFC fan, is Benil like a big champion in that sport?
Yeah, I mean, last I checked, Benil is number 3 in the UFC lightweight division. So he's actually ahead of Conor McGregor.
Is that a big deal?
Conor McGregor.
No.
Conor McGregor. No.
No.
Okay.
I don't follow UFC.
Oh, okay. Well, you're gonna get a lot of hate in the comments. I'm
Sorry.
Just saying. Anyway, so I mean, he is kind of a big deal. Definitely a good audience for Teslas in general, I think.
And I mean, Elon is a UFC fan, so
he is a UFC fan, and Joe Rogan also a Tesla fan.
I'll bet this came from Joe Rogan because he was there that day. I'll bet he was talking to him before the fight. He was like, "Dude, you gonna get your car? Just say something to Elon. He'll just get it for you." And it worked.
Yeah, and maybe Joe did a little behind the scenes, calling Elon up.
Yeah.
They're buds, so
Right.
great. I mean, overall, I think it's pretty good publicity for pretty much zero marketing budget. You're just letting him borrow a Model Y.
You want to keep a guy who can lay you out flat happy, okay? All right, it's time for an update of one of our favorite electric car companies, Faraday Future.
Name sounds familiar. So let me just remember. It's been a while. This is the FF91 that we're talking about.
Yes, the FF91 will have a 130 kilowatt hour battery pack, 1,050 horsepower drivetrain, 0 to 60 in less than 2.4 seconds. Now, Faraday Future appears to be going public with a SPAC, merging with Property Solutions Acquisition Corp. And now, of course, they need some publicity.
Okay, so what's the latest?
It's this, a 27-inch rear passenger display with AI-enhanced voice controls.
Okay, so let me just... you can only use the screen when you're parked, right?
I don't know.
Because, I mean, that completely blocks all of your rear view vision. Like, you look in the rear view mirror and it just looks like the back of a screen. You wouldn't be able to see anything. Also, what if you get into an accident?
Yeah, what?
And you're in the rear seat and you have the big screen folded down. Are you just going like,
whack your head
into the
into
screen? Is that the plan?
I don't know.
And so it's just for, I mean, he got in the back because it was parked.
Right.
So you park the car, get out of the car, go into the back seat, and then you say, lower the screen, and then, and then you want to look, hi, and then you have your call.
So it didn't do anything for you, huh?
I just, with a screen like that, video conferencing is not what I don't, like, look, I've done a lot of video conferencing with some of our patrons. It's nice to see you guys. I don't need a 27-inch screen in the back of my car. I'm just listening. It's just a phone call where you're making sure that the person is wearing
Why
pants.
couldn't you do this in the front of the car?
Because you can't put the 27. I'm sure you can't put the 27-inch screen in the front of the car.
It'd be more fun for gaming.
It would be more fun for movies.
Right.
If it was like movie mode in the Faraday Future, I just would not touch them with a 10-foot pole. No thank, or a 27-inch screen. But I guess I have to ask, when is the FF91 going to be delivered this time?
Well, they say they aim to bring the FF91 to production within 12 months from the closing of the SPAC. So if you unpack all that, it means nothing.
Definitely going to have I have all the utmost confidence in a company that has gone bankrupt how many times? 3 times? Feels like 3 times.
So last Friday at 11:59 a.m., me and a lot of other Cybertruck fans were poised with our fingers ready to click to buy the new Mattel Creations 1-to-10 scaled Hot Wheels Cybertruck RC. And 1 minute later, it looked like their website crashed.
So they appear to have sold out in a matter of seconds, and we didn't get one.
So it looks like it could be really cool with a 12-mile-an-hour top speed limit, this controller that's supposed to look just like the Cybertruck steering wheel, and a cyberquad that fits in the back of the truck. All of this for $100?
Yes, apparently.
That doesn't seem possible.
Right. Considering, I mean, didn't they sell one for like $500?
Yeah, I mean, if you get the Tesla Model S for kids, that's like a few $100.
Well, yeah, but you can ride in that one.
I know, but still, this is, I mean, I don't know. I can't imagine this for $100. But if you did get to order one, and maybe you got to order more than one, reach out to me. Let's talk.
So on Tuesday, Volkswagen chairman Herbert Diess tweeted this: "The hydrogen car is proven not to be the solution. Electrification has established itself in traffic. Sham debates are a waste of time. Please listen to the science." Now that's translated from German.
Wow, good for him.
He also included a link to a newspaper article which looks at a study published in Nature called Potential and Risks of Hydrogen-Based E-Fuels in Climate Change Mitigation.
Yeah, the study says basically what we've been talking about for years. Hydrogen is a way the fossil fuel industry can continue to pump stuff out of the ground and sell it to us while still pumping CO2 into our atmosphere.
And this is especially true in the case of cars. Falco Udrecht, lead author of the study, said, "We should therefore use the valuable hydrogen-based fuels as a priority for those applications which are indispensable: long-haul flights, part of chemical production, steel production, and possibly some industrial high-temperature processes."
What's interesting here is this puts Diess at odds with almost every other auto executive.
I mean, yeah, look at almost any car manufacturer and you will see their hydrogen car. Either it's, in production now, or it's coming soon, or it's coming in the future.
Or it already happened, but it didn't work.
So I think it's really cool that Diess is basically, it's just him and Elon.
Yeah.
That are in agreement that hydrogen is not the way to go. I mean, you have the CEO of Toyota who is just like, hydrogen is totally the way to go. Really amazing that we're seeing, Elon's fringe, right? Like Elon, he could do whatever he wants. But Herbert Diess basically publicly coming out and saying like hydrogen is a sham and it's a waste of time. Really, really interesting.
I wonder if this was to shut up some of his lower VPs so that he just like put the kibosh on it and they're all like, oh crap, the boss doesn't want to hear about this.
Right. And just to kind of maybe think about the battlefield, so to speak. The oil industry really wants to sell hydrogen because they can pump natural gas out of the ground, strip off all the carbon, throw that away, and give you the hydrogen that were in the hydrocarbons. They really want to do that because it's green. There's no tailpipe emissions. But of course, they don't want to spew CO2 in the atmosphere. They just want to give you the natural gas that they have the rights to.
Well, while we're talking about Berlin, let's talk about the Giga Berlin update.
Elon tweeted, "Giga Berlin suppliers, please accelerate."
That's good. He then went on to say, aiming for extreme precision with next-gen Model Y, microns, not millimeters. And then Jörg Steinbach said, unexpectedly, there was an opportunity for a brief informal catch-up between Elon and myself at Gigafactory this afternoon. A brief wrap-up of the progress in an excellent mood. Not having been on site for months, I was amazed by the current status. Safe, ongoing journey, Elon. And Steinbach is important because he's part of the government in Brandenburg.
And Elon responded to his tweet. He said, "Great progress so far. Thank you for the support from Brandenburg. I would also like to express appreciation for the permit authorities, as I know it is a large and complex project. When all the finishing touches are done, I hope it will be considered a jewel of Brandenburg."
Big shout out here to the Wolfpack Berlin YouTube channel for getting this awesome update footage of what's going on there.
Yeah, I mean, the progress has been pretty staggering. I was really expecting this project to go slower because it was in Germany, and everyone was telling me like, oh, it's going to go really slow because Germans really... And that has not been the case. They've been kind of flying through it. There have been some setbacks at certain parts. It's amazing that we actually get to see what the factory is going to look like. Interesting to me that there is no tall office tower.
Tall office tower?
I mean, if you look at like Stuttgart and you look at like BMW or Volkswagen headquarters, they have the, big office
Oh, right.
sections. If you look at GM in Detroit, they have the big tower that looks like a bunch of cylinders, put together. Really interesting to me that this is just a factory. I mean, maybe they're going to build something later on, but I don't know, different. Maybe it's a different shift in perspective. It also looks like they're almost done with the main section.
Yeah, and they've cleared a lot of land here. Look at this. I mean, what is this land for?
I think it's going to be for more expansion.
Nice. And it's really good to hear that Elon said during this week's visit, it's hard to predict with precision because you can only make the cars when all of the pieces are here. It looks like we're able to start production end of this year. And I know he's been saying that all along, but it's great just to hear that he's still on schedule. All right, are you looking for an electric scooter?
Remember, we have a Now Let's Review channel where we just reviewed the Varla Eagle 1 e-scooter that goes up to 40 miles an hour.
Yeah, this is a fun scooter. You can check out our full review over there. And I saw that you were filming a review the other day.
Yeah, I just reviewed a mobile level 1 charger from Lectron with a nice long 21-foot cable.
Now, I think this charger could come in handy for a lot of people, and here's why. Almost every EV comes with a mobile charger, but for a lot of people, I think that almost becomes the garage charger, if you will. So like with our Nissan Leafs, we use the mobile charger that came with it kind of permanently plugged in the garage, and then one day you're driving around and you're like, hey, I don't have my mobile charger with me.
Yeah, exactly. It's right when you'll need it, too. Or like in my case, my original charger just wore out and the cable got run over one too many times. So yeah, you kind of might want a backup. I tested the Lectron 15 amp charger and it turned out to be a good value. You can use our link in the show notes below to find it on Amazon, and we'll put their website in the link there too. And of course, you can check out the full review over on Now Let's Review.
All right, it's time for Going Green, sponsored by EcoWare. And we've got new designs uploaded every week. We've got new V-necks for you Europeans that want those. We carbon offset the manufacturing, the shipping, and the life cycle of your purchase. We plant 10 trees for every order, and then we help cap a well on top of it.
And it helps support Now You Know. So head over to ecoware.us. We have some new designs. So if you've been there and you're like, oh, I know all the designs. You don't. We have new ones. You should go check them out.
All right, so the Austrian Postal Service already has e-mopeds, Renault Kangaroo ZEs, Nissan e-NV200s, and MAN ETGEs in their fleet, which they have been testing to get data on for total cost of ownership. And I thought we'd stop for a second and remind everyone what total cost of ownership is.
Yeah, I feel like total cost of ownership is something we don't really do, especially here in the US. And it's basically when you factor in not only the upfront price of something, like a vehicle sticker price, but also all the other costs over the life of the vehicle, like the total maintenance costs and the total fuel costs.
And I would argue the unseen costs, like air pollution and human health costs.
Turns out, like you probably already guessed, the Austrian Post figured out through real-world use that EVs have a lower total cost of ownership than gas vehicles. So
the Austrian Post has now announced that they will be switching the entire fleet of 10,000 vehicles to electric by 2030.
Not only will they be installing 2,400 charging stations at over 130 locations in the next 3 years, but they will also not be buying any new gas-powered vehicles past 2024.
Yeah, it's really cool. I mean, they're basically going to be using all those up and then just starting to buy new electric ones from that date forward. Thank you so much to our friend Holger in Austria for turning us onto this story. And you know what? Use a story like this to help convince your post office or some governmental group to switch to EVs, because it's a really good argument. It's like, hey, if they've already done all the math, we don't have to do that. We can just rely on their having done it.
Right. And this was a dollars and cents comparison. So even your, non-governmental fleets, any fleet of any kinds of trucks, lower cost of ownership over the lifespan of the vehicle.
And if you'd like to share this clip with someone you know, but you don't want to share the entire hour-long broadcast, you can go to our Now You Know Clips channel, where we chop it up into a bite-sized clip that you can easily share. All right, our friend Eli is here again with us for the Starman Report.
There's a whole fleet of them. Look on the ASA. My gosh. They're all going against the wind. The wind's 120 knots from the west. Look at that thing, dude.
Remember these UFO sighting videos that the government declassified last year? Well, we could soon start getting answers. An unclassified report is due to Congress next month from the Director of National Intelligence to give more information about these very strange sightings. So far, I have stayed away from UFO coverage because it's become synonymous with aliens, but unidentified flying objects are very interesting. And they're an interesting topic because they're relevant to the world of spaceflight. Because these unidentified vehicles are leveraging seemingly advanced flight capabilities that could play a role in our future in space. From the government's perspective, anything that enters an airspace that's not expected to be there is presumed to be a threat because, assuming the sightings are not secret projects within your own government, then they are likely some kind of advanced aircraft developed by an adversarial nation. Speaking of adversaries, China has unveiled its first photos from its Mars rover Zhurong. Forgive me if I'm pronouncing that incorrectly. This marks the official confirmation that the Chinese rover survived its landing and is operating on the Red Planet. NASA Administrator Bill Nelson came out quickly to congratulate China for the successful landing, but also used the moment to warn Congress of China's competitive threat to American leadership in human spaceflight. I gotta applaud Bill for using this opportunity so successfully to help make the case for more funding for NASA and for the space program in general. Last but not least, Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos are going to battle over the lunar lander contract. In a flyer distributed on Capitol Hill last week, SpaceX didn't pull any punches, warning that legislation now being considered would reward Jeff Bezos with a $10 billion handout that would tie up NASA's moon plans and hand space leadership to China. Blue Origin was quick to respond, adding, "What is Elon Musk afraid of? A little competition?" I find this hilarious because I follow rockets, and Blue Origin isn't even close to having their first rocket that can compete with SpaceX's 4-year-old Falcon 9, and nothing even remotely in the works on the scale of Starship and Super Heavy. It's my hope that after Blue Origin is ultimately defeated for the lunar lander contract, that it inspires Bezos to change his approach, start allowing actual experimentation, failures in testing, so they can really build an innovative rocket, an innovative solution that can hopefully participate in this real big march to space. Thank you so much for watching this segment of the Starman Report, and back to you, Zach and Jesse.
Thank you so much, Eli. Please check out Eli's channel, The Starman Report, for great space news. And also, you can get that Starman suit and the Adventures of Starman graphic novels at starmangifts.com.
All right, it's time for Into the Future. Singapore-based Maxeon Solar Technologies has just announced they'll be delivering Maxeon Air solar panels for commercial buildings this summer.
Did I hear Maxeon describe them as peel and stick?
Yeah, they did say that. Basically, they are frameless, and so they weigh around 6 kilograms each, which is about half the weight of traditional framed panels. Now, I'm not sure what kind of adhesive they'll be using, but I guess you can stick them right to certain roof surfaces. But here's my question. Traditional solar panels are not that heavy. I mean, we've got one right here. Roofs have to be rated to hold live loads like humans and snow and stuff. So could it really matter that these panels weigh a bit less?
Here's what I think it is. You have a building manager, and you approach them and you're like, hey, we should really put solar on the roof. And they go, no. Solar's way too heavy. You can't put solar on the roof. The roof would collapse. Don't you know anything, you stupid person? And so I think a lot of buildings don't get solar because there's one person in that building, or, is the landowner of that building. And they're just, no, you can't possibly do it. Now you can send them this video and you go, hey, these panels, they're called air solar panels. That air is not heavy. And they go, well, I guess we'll have to look into it. So they call up Maxeon, and Maxeon goes, oh, yeah, thank you for telling us all this information. I think we're going to go send a guy out there. The guy goes out there, and he goes, yeah, you can put regular solar panels on this roof. You don't need the air solar panels. So it's kind of a loss leader in that way. It's kind of like, now I can finally send this to my building manager, get him to, agree to just think about the solar. Then you get the actual representative out there who's like, yeah, the roof was designed to hold stuff on it. It's a roof.
Plus, I mean, now that they're glued down tight, you probably don't have to worry about wind.
Yeah. But again, I think it's just a sneaky way to get right under the radar of some people who are like, yeah, we'll see how expensive these air panels are, and then I'll really shut you up.
Maxeon air panels should be making their debut in Europe in a few months. Oh, and a disclaimer, Jesse and I hold long positions in Maxeon. All right, it's time for sunspots. Time for a little geography lesson. Where is this dot pointing to, Jesse?
Easy one. The Atlantic Ocean.
Computer, zoom in. Now switch to satellite view.
Oh, I see. It's one of the many tiny Bahama islands.
Yeah, so that is Highborn Key, a resort island that, as we speak, has to run diesel generators to create the electricity for the 100 residents and guests, and it's been doing that 24/7, 365 for 50 years.
Ugh. What? So, okay, but what's that?
That is a new 1.1 megawatt solar project built by Azimuth Energy that includes a 2 megawatt hour battery and will allow those diesel generators to be shut off for the first time.
But doesn't it get really windy on those islands during hurricane season?
Yep, and that's why this system was built using Solar FlexRack's G3X mounts, which withstand wind speeds up to 180 miles an hour.
So will solar power the island completely now?
Well, about 2/3 of the island's energy will now come from the sun, which will save 1,800 metric tons of CO2 per year.
Man, I've been saying it all along. Islands are the perfect place for solar because usually they're nice and sunny, because otherwise why would you go to a not sunny island? Sorry, Iceland. You have your own beautiful stuff there, and it's a much bigger island. What I'm saying is islands, renewable energy. That's the stuff. That's the ticket.
And if you're thinking about getting solar on your roof and you have questions about wind and all that kind of stuff, well, the team at EnergyPal are the solar and battery experts that help you go solar for less. They do all of that work for free. So give them a call. Their link is down in the show notes below. All right, it's time for our video contributor stories. Who do we got this week?
We've got Andre. He's got some interesting luggage.
Zach and Jesse, how you doing? We are here in Minnesota and we have a very short summer, so we gotta enjoy all of it, or as much as we can. And we're taking our paddle boards to a lake with our Tesla Model 3. So take a look. I'm gonna engage autopilot right now and show how with the paddle boards we can still have autopilot engaged and everything works fine. There it is.
Here's our setup. We have a Tesla Model 3 long range with roof racks purchased from Tesla shop. Installation was very easy. It took me only 10 minutes. When compared to 2019 summer, car with the roof rack used more electrons. But the comparison is not fair, as tires were also different. I honestly don't think there's a significant difference for range. Rack mounts are two Yakima SUP dog, which are stable and secure with locks and a metal wire inside the straps to prevent opportunity thieves. The boards were Loctite. Boards are 11 feet 6 inches and 12 feet 6 inches in length. They're almost the entire length of the car, but did not affect autopilot usage and car functionality, as you saw at the beginning. From my experience, using the back of the boards towards the front of the car was the most aerodynamic way to transport them. Minnesota has only a few days with comfortable temperatures to go enjoy the lakes, so there's no time to waste in the summer. Although the state is known as the land of 10,000 lakes, Minnesota actually has 11,842 lakes, so plenty of opportunities to take our Tesla and boards out and have some fun. Zach and Jesse, take your vaccines and come over for a paddleboard tour of the best lakes in the land of lakes. See you soon, and now you know.
Oh, that's cool. I didn't know you could put paddle boards on the roof of a Model 3.
Apparently you can.
Nice. Thank you for that. All right, it's time for our Patreon bonus stories. And this week we have one of our Patreons. He made it onto the local news covering Starlink. We're going to be sharing that story with you. So if you want to watch that, head on over to patreon.com/nowyouknow. Join us for as little as $1 a month, and you can watch all of our Patreon bonus stories and help support the show. All right, we're back from the Patreon bonus stories and the Now You Know Investor Club bonus stories. It's time for our Patreon shout-outs. These are people who support us at $5 or more a month. They're super important. Who do we have this week, Jess?
We have Chris Devenish,
Brian Anderson,
Ray Carroll,
Bill Grice,
Joe K,
Mose,
Tony M,
Daniel Koo,
Gergo Nemeth,
Stephen Hallman,
Mary Bonin,
Bob Leo,
Carl Hens Feku,
Todd Hartman,
Antares,
Tom Liu,
Kathy Height,
Bill Jask,
Rob Hughes,
Doug Labor,
and Otto Schwieger. Thank you so much for supporting our channel. We can't do it without you.
All right, it's time for Elon's tweets of the week. And this first tweet, what is that?
It's a robo-fridge.
Elon said, hallelujah.
Yeah, so now you can stub your toe on the refrigerator without even getting off the couch.
Nice. Elon tweeted out this picture, I guess, of their new neon sign for Starbase.
Looks pretty cool.
That's awesome. Tasmanian tweeted out this article about Pierre Ferragu and his new research showing that there's going to be 40% cash returns from Tesla in 2023. And Elon said,
Ferragu is remarkably insightful.
Now, if you're wondering what he's talking about, I found this cool chart from JPR 007. This is cash flow from operations for Tesla. And as you can see, it does appear that Pierre is right. As these gigafactories start to really return on investment, you're going to see a tremendous cash return coming up soon. Elon tweeted out, Tesla has diamond hands?
If someone could explain this to us, that would be helpful.
He followed up with credit to our master of coin. So is he talking about how well they've handled their finances?
Or it's a slap in the face to crypto because everyone on crypto hates it. Might have just been the timing. I have no idea.
Yeah. Gemma said, one thing about being on the spectrum is that focus is relatively easier. I've always kind of felt like extreme focus was one of my true skills.
Elon said, likewise, I have attention surplus disorder. Haha.
Elon gave a congrats to Ford on embracing an electric future. And Jordan said, had a dream about the Cybertruck last night. It's badass.
Elon said, we can't wait to build this crazy truck. It's a total rethink of vehicle mechanical architecture and production methods. So super hard project, but worthwhile in the end.
So Clean Technica posted this article by Charlie Morris about Tesla being the most Googled investment opportunity in 83 countries. And Elon said,
wow.
Rocket Rundown said, beautiful footage from the first recovery of a SpaceX Starship prototype. SpaceX recently submitted an FCC application that outlined the first orbital test flight of the combined vehicle, which is made up of the Super Heavy booster and the Starship upper stage. Credit SpaceX.
Elon said, welcome to the future. It's going to be great.
Shifo said, yo, Elon, what do you think about the peeps who are angry at you because of crypto?
Elon said, the true battle is between fiat and crypto. On balance, I support the latter.
And then Elon tweeted this out. Any sufficiently advanced magic is indistinguishable from technology. Hey, that's one of your favorite quotes.
Well, it's actually backwards. It's supposed to be any sufficiently advanced technology is indistinguishable from magic, but I guess ergo.
Elon tweeted out, how much is that Doge in the window? And then Tesla in the Gong said, is that the book of Eli or the book of Elon?
And Elon responded, that's my gaming laptop, which has never had a sticker on it until now.
Franks and Bean said, what's harder to solve, AI, Mars, or digital currency?
Elon said, currency is already digital. Decentralized crypto is an attempt to wrest power of currency dilution, pernicious form of taxation, and capital controls from governments. That said, I sure hope the cure is better than the disease. Mars/AI are essential to passing the great filter.
And that Doge girl said, for the ones interested, as I was, and then she posted this article from astronomy.com.
And Elon said, worth reading.
Viv said, what's your gut feeling on this? If we make it to Mars, where does that put us with regards to the Great Filter?
Elon said, becoming multiplanetary is one of the greatest filters. Only now, 4.5 billion years after Earth formed, is it possible. How long this window to reach Mars remains open is uncertain. Perhaps a long time, perhaps not. In case it is the latter, we should act now.
Yeah, it makes you feel like we're really lucky to be alive right now. And then for some light stuff here, here's a little meme he tweeted. So does that mean we're lucky to pat the dog?
Yeah. Dogs are awesome.
And then Space News says Virgin Galactic Spaceship 2 made its first flight to space in more than 2 years Saturday, completing the first in a series of 4 suborbital flights planned by the company over the next several months.
And Elon said, congrats, Virgin Galactic, which is very nice of him.
Especially for only going suborbital.
Yeah.
All right, we had a poll. What was it?
The poll was, what do you think of the Ford F-150 Lightning?
What do people say?
Most people were more interested in the Cybertruck. About 10% of the people who were interested in the Cybertruck wanted the Ford F-150. The rest of actually, the Rivian was more popular than the F-150. Only one person wanted the EV Hummer, and no one wanted the Lordstown Endurance.
All right, it's time for Community Mail Time.
These are some cool pictures from our friend Fabio in Brisbane, Australia. This is a supercharger with all its clothes off.
But what's up in the upper left corner there?
That's like a little tank.
Tank of what? Charging fluid?
Our buddy Andreas made these renders. It is the Cyber Coupe.
Ooh.
It's like a supercar version of the Cybertruck. You can tell us whether you like it or not in the comments section down below. Also, check out his website. Post the link in the description below.
Then we got our buddy Kevin in Kansas. He's calling this Squeaky and His Forgotten Friends.
Hey, Zach and Jesse. I'm standing in a farm field west of Gardner, Kansas. Like many farm fields in this area, they are filled with small pumping stations bringing the toxic oil from underground to the surface. Along with the pumping stations are the collection tanks, some active, some abandoned, like this one. I hope that at the end of life of all of this, they will be responsibly removed and return the earth back to the way it was. Now you know.
Our friend Amran from Dubai wrote to us to share his Roadster racing seat conjecture. Now, if we take a look at the Tesla Roadster's bucket seats, it looks like, he says, they will have harness seat belts similar to his Porsche, which is seen here. Now, I think he's probably onto something, because having ridden in the Roadster 2.0, I can attest that you are going to need racing harness style seatbelts, especially when we get our SpaceX package.
Yeah. So that makes sense. This, although, might be a cooler.
What is
picture.
that?
This is from our friend Thomas. He said, my friend Mark Cabadoo works in the film industry here in Toronto. This is a picture of his converted Tesla with the Russian arm and remote camera head.
Can I just point out some cool things you might miss because you're looking at the arm? Look in the back there. There's like a viewport that you can see out the back.
Yeah.
And then there's a microphone with a big dead cat on the back. And I don't think that crane is all the way extended yet.
Yeah.
I think it can go out like another 5 or 10 feet.
So, I mean, the advantages in filming with an electric vehicle are huge.
Quiet.
Also, it could accelerate a lot without any noise, of course. You could get some really cool drone panning shots.
God, we have to go visit this. Yeah, this is amazing.
That's freaking awesome. So, Thomas, if your friend Mark's up to it, as soon as we can get across the border, we'd love to check it out.
All right, it's time for Supercharger reviews. These are sponsored by our friends at Evannex, the Tesla community's accessory store. Looking for awesome accessories for your Tesla? Check out Evannex and use our discount code NowYouKnow to save you $10 on purchases over $100.
Hi, Jesse and Zach. A brand new Supercharger station has opened up in Copperopolis, California, in the Gold Country, just off Highway 4. Just opened yesterday, March 31st, so it's no April Fools. And this is very nice, brand new V3 kind of chargers, and it's very convenient. It's right near an upscale shopping and dining area, just a few steps away, and it's pretty nice. And I didn't even know about it. According to the Tesla website, it's not scheduled until Q3 this year, but there it is. It's working. Now you know.
Hey, Zach and Jesse and the Now You Know crew. I am in Brinkley, Arkansas at the brand new 8-stall, 250 kilowatt Supercharger. This is the halfway point between Little Rock, Arkansas and Memphis, Tennessee. It definitely has helped break up the drive a little more, because we'd always have to charge just a little extra in Memphis in my old 2013 P85, so it makes the drive a little more reasonable now. We've got a Kroger in the same parking lot for your grocery store amenities, and then we've also got a Sonic and McDonald's in walking distance. So 24/7 services to be available to us here, and decent restrooms. I'd rank this one a 7 out of 10. See you later, Now You Know crew.
Hey guys, one more thing. I didn't notice this until after I finished recording that last video, but we've also got a Waffle House right in the same parking lot, and also a dog park. So for you animal lovers out there traveling with your pets, this one makes for a pretty decent stop. I'd bump it up to 7.5 out of 10. All right, guys, we're gonna have to bump this up to an 8 out of 10 actually, because I just discovered at this Sonic, with the outdoor accessible restrooms here, the dog park is also served by Sonic as well. You can walk up to the dog park, camp out with your family outside the car, and place an order. I'd rank it even higher, but this thing's out of order right now. What can you do? All right, I'm gone for real this time. Bye now.
Hey, Zach and Jesse. Good morning to you. The crack of dawn here. I'm at the Terminal 5, Heathrow Terminal 5, Hilton Hotel Supercharger. Behind me you can see the hotel, which normally is a hive of activity, but it is still locked down here in the UK. There's nothing going on. I'm here completely alone. Behind me, you can see, I think, 14 version 2 superchargers, but recently added during the last few months some version 3 superchargers. This is my first experience of a V3 supercharger. I think I hit about 190 kilowatts just now, coming in at 10% charge, state of charge. So very exciting. The hotel, of course, normally offers all the refreshments you could possibly want, food, etc., etc., but it's shut, which is fine. I only need to be here about 10 minutes. So yeah, this is conveniently located just off the M25 motorway, near Heathrow Airport, of course. Now you know.
Hey Zach and Jesse, this is Susan coming to you from beautiful Central Illinois at the brand new 8-stall V3 supercharger that just opened yesterday, March 30th, here in Peoria. It's located about 1.5 miles off of Interstate 74 that runs through Peoria, and it's in the back parking lot of a Hy-Vee grocery store. There's a Starbucks inside that Hy-Vee, and there's also a gas station on the far other side where you could walk to grab some snacks, but it is a little bit of a hike through the parking lot. There are a number of places within about a mile radius where you could pick up some food before you come to Supercharge. But overall, I would rate this new Supercharger a 6 out of 10. Now you know.
I love Supercharger reviews.
Those are fantastic.
And we have a beautiful Supercharger this week. This is from our friend Scott in Australia. This is Broadbeach on the Gold Coast in Queensland.
Hang on.
What?
I don't see any Superchargers in that picture.
Okay, well, they're chargers, and it's a beautiful spot. So
it
I thought
is.
I'd
You're right.
include
Okay.
it.
You're true. It's true. All right. It's time for new Superchargers. What do we got this week?
We've got the 12-stall version 3 in San Fernando at Celis Street, California.
The 8-stall 250 kilowatt in Placerville, Missouri Flat Road, California.
We've got the 16-stall version 3 in San Luis Obispo at Los Osos Valley Road, California.
Number 27 in Georgia is the 12-stall version 3 in Douglasville, Georgia.
The 8-stall version 3 at Cherry Hill in Walt Whitman, New Jersey.
Number 77 in the UK is the 12-stall 150 kilowatt in London at North Greenwich, UK.
The 8-stall version 3 in Waterloo, Iowa.
Number 10 in Iowa is the 8-stall version 3 in Sioux City.
The 16-stall version 3 in Illertissen, Germany.
Number 23 in Austria is the 6-stall 150 kilowatt in Thar, Austria.
Number 37 in New Jersey is the 8-stall version 3 at Cherry Hill at Haddonfield Road, New Jersey.
Is this right? A 34-stall version 3 in San Francisco at Geary Boulevard?
I don't know.
Wow.
Someone has to go check, obviously.
Yeah. Get us a review.
Yeah. Number 31 in Pennsylvania, the 16-stall version 3 in King of Prussia, Pennsylvania.
The 8-stall version 3 in Virginia Beach, Virginia.
Number 93 in Germany, the 8-stall version 3 in Turkheim, Germany.
There's the 12-stall version 3 in Fort Bragg, California.
And number 220 in California is the 8-stall 250 kilowatt at Alturas, California.
And number 35 in Virginia, number 1049 in the USA, number 2750 in the world is the 8-stall version 3 in Stafford, Virginia. That was a lot of Superchargers this week.
A lot of Superchargers. All right, it's time for the giveaway.
Yes. Oh, and before you start turning that thing, hand me this. Yeah, the blanket. I want to remind everybody that, we're giving away a $30 gift card to EcoWare. You can also get not just t-shirts, but blankets.
Wow. All right. And the winner is Royce Young.
Congratulations, Royce. You just won yourself a $30 gift card to EcoWare. We design everything like this blanket with solar energy. We completely carbon offset. And when you buy something, we plant 10 trees. Isn't that awesome?
That is awesome. And we help Kappa well for every order as well, including your gift card orders.
This is cozy.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Pretty warm in here. What are you wearing a blanket for?
Warm.
I just want to thank everyone who supports us over on Patreon. We couldn't do it without you guys.
Yeah, you guys right here. Look at all you guys.
Yeah. It was really hot in here this week. We've got ourselves some ice packs so we didn't melt completely. And, I think if we didn't have patrons that we kind of felt responsible to, maybe we'd go like,
let's just skip it.
Yeah, we'll just skip it this week. It's too hot. We'll go, go relax at the pool or something. Who cares? So I really want to, say that we really do appreciate our patrons. And thank you so much for watching. Be sure to hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. Also, hit the like button. It does some magic with the YouTube algorithm and makes more people see the show, and that helps out the show, and that helps out Tesla, and that helps out the world. So keep it up. We'll see you next week.
Now you know.